Mixing things up. Let's step into the huddle.
You're listening to the PreSnap podcast brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now here are your hosts, fantasy football experts Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to the PreSnap right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it is Scott Bogman, and it's you, and we're talking week 4 and a little week 5 DFS and wagering style. So, Bogman, it was a fun week of DFS. I got to tell you, I laid a little low in the wagering this week. It was not a week that I was really loving. I told you as we were going into the week, I was more into DFS, but... we've already got some feedback from some of those, that average lineup thing we did. So that lineup over on DK was 130-something points, and on FanDuel was about the same too. So basically, that whole thing cashed in most spots. So look at that. Look at that right out of the gate. We are over there. That lineup had Kareem Hunt in it, who ended up having a very big game after we were a little worried about his health. It had some other good pieces in it. So that all ended up working out. And really, if we're going to look back at week 4, it's all about your call of Dalvin Cook, which, yes, it was easy, but still, you got to hit the fastball down the middle, right, if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have had 3 touchdowns. He had the 2, and then Madison got the last one. And I was disappointed, another week where I picked Boyd last week, and he had over 100 yards. I picked Parker this week. He had over 100 yards, and they just didn't get in the end zone. So a little annoyed by that. But, Cook was... I was having a tough time making a call, and it was definitely a weird week. So I'm glad that I was able to go way too high and pick Cook, but he did double you up, so he was worth every penny.
He sure did, and he's doubling me up because I can't hit the fastball down the middle right now. I can't even hit the ball off the tee in the contest. I am brutal. I've got to come back and figure things out here. This is no good, no bueno. Joey
week 5 is the Joe Pisapia week. I'm calling
That's right.
Right now.
12 touchdowns from 2 guys. That's what I'm going to get. Make it up. But look, obviously this was a week where it was dominated by the Dallas Cowboys. You could say that. Some of the Seattle pieces we were talking about were good. Tyler Lockett was grossly underperforming. Less than 5 points on FanDuel was brutal. DK was okay, 12.6, but still some underachievers for sure, but Joe Mixon was not one of them. So the $1 million lineup over on FanDuel had Dak Prescott. No surprise there. 38 points for Dak, 500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable output for him. That lineup also had Mike Davis, who we were very much in. Joe Mixon, who we really, we liked, but I don't think we were hot on. And it's because it hasn't delivered yet. Well, guess what? He delivered enough for the rest of the month to make up for September.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, getting those 3 touchdowns was huge. And, it looks like he should be back on track. It's all about him and Burrow working together. And the offensive line even looked a little bit better. They were playing Jacksonville, but, we'll take the positives when we see them.
Yeah. Look, and I got to tell you, for me, the big suck was definitely Nick Chubb getting hurt because I had some shares of him. And that did not work out well, unfortunately, with the injury. He's going to miss a couple weeks, but Kareem Hunt did work out, so that was a positive. Look, Dallas continues to be awesome. Amari Cooper was great again, finally got the touchdown we've been looking for, but he's leading the league in targets. That's what you want. That's a guy, it's such a good cost, too. It's unbelievable to me that he was still hovering around that 7K on FanDuel. He was 7.1 last week. That was a joke. He should have been in every single lineup. He was in every lineup that I could possibly have, and yet he was still only 16.5% owned. That was crazy. Whereas Tyler Lockett was twice that. DK Metcalf was twice that. CeeDee Lamb was only 9% owned, which is hilarious and criminal. He had 22 points. So basically, you had to have some shares of this Cleveland-Dallas game. And Odell Beckham clearly in that winning lineup as well. 35.9, 2 touchdowns for him, 5 catches. Pretty big day for ODB.
He ran one in 2. He had 3 touchdowns. So
That's right. That's right. 2 receiving. My bad. And 1 rushing.
Yeah, great game for OBJ, and that's what saved me in my guillotine league because I have Eckler too, who got banged up. So thank you, OBJ. I don't care what your weird fetish is. I'm really glad that you got 3 touchdowns. My weird fetish is you getting me touchdowns. That's what I want.
Yes, and that is uncommon lately with Odell Beckham. Yes. But let's say it's not as regular as you might think that it might be?
No, yeah, but it's okay because he can go on nice runs.
No, yes, he does have a nice run or two in him. But anyway, we told you Mark Andrews would bounce back, and he did. 19 points for him on 3 catches. He was in the $1 million lineup there, and the Vikings defense was actually the last cog there. So once again, these were all pieces. I mean, outside the Vikings D, nothing. Everything chalky here. Odell, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Mixon, Mike Davis, Dak Prescott, Mark Andrews, Dalvin Cook. I mean, it's exactly what you'd think it would be. And we've talked at length about Mike Davis. I'm going to ask you a question. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you. I know what I think. When CMC comes back, does Mike Davis just fade into obscurity? I think he does. I don't think he should, but I think he will. What do you think?
I'm not 100% sure because this is, Matt Rule's first run. So you would think he would take stock of what is happening with Mike Davis now and know, hey, look, I just can't keep giving Christian McCaffrey the ball 40 times a game. Like I could give it to him 25 to 30 times and give the rest to someone else. But I think you're right, as in Mike Davis won't be producing, but I'm hoping that he gets like 15 touches moving forward. Because we know McCaffrey's going to get 20 to 30 at least every single game. So get Mike Davis involved a little more to save McCaffrey. I would be happy with that. But I know, McCaffrey is always the highest play because he gets the most touches. So
I think for his health, you're right. It's probably a smart thing to ease him back, especially trying to learn the lessons of Saquon Barkley last year. But hey, lessons are sometimes learned very hard, and all of a sudden the Panthers are 2-2. So who knows? Who knows how things will go?
Yeah, you think you can learn from other people's mistakes, but head coaches need to learn it themselves, I think, every single time.
Yeah, well, Bill O'Brien's going to have a lot of time to learn some lessons because he gone. Minnesota won that game, and everyone wants to hang that ending there, like, oh, they could have had it if Will Fuller could have came down with that ball. How about David Johnson not fumbling and bumbling the little simple pitch that would have walked into the end zone? How about that instead?
Yeah, and who probably would have caught a touchdown right there? DeAndre Hopkins probably would have.
Yeah, he's pretty good at football.
This is the worst thing the Texans probably could have done because you let Bill O'Brien screw your whole team chemistry up over the offseason and then fire him four games in. Like it doesn't,
and you have no first or second round pick next year because of Bill O'Brien either.
Right. So it just doesn't make sense. Like
he screwed you past, present, and future. Right. He's like X-Men. It's unbelievable. He's like the bad coach of future past. Like he is unbelievable what Bill O'Brien's capable of doing.
Is he McAvoy or Stewart? I can't tell.
He's like a combination. He's like Fassbender, I think. He's more Fassbender.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Fat Bender maybe, but not Fassbender. But I mean, I have no room to talk. But yeah, man, I just I don't understand how you get rid of him 4 weeks in when you let him make all of these moves. You had a tough 3-game schedule. You probably should have beaten the Vikings. I mean, we both had Houston picked to win this game. Fortunately for us, we both had Minnesota against the spread because we're smart. But yeah, man, I don't know. This is it's a weird situation, and Romeo Crennel's taking over. Good luck with all that.
Yeah, let me know how that works.
They're just gonna let Watson call plays. So
that might be for the best anyway, because God knows Bill O'Brien doing it wasn't a good thing. Over on DraftKings, basically the same characters in terms of cast with that $1 million contest there. Dak Prescott, Joe Mixon, Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Davis. Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's pretty funny, isn't it, Boggs? You pretty much had to have those guys. The only difference here was the Bucs defense, Darren Waller, Ronald Jones. So basically the punt play was Ronald Jones, which was a really smart one when you knew Fournette was out. Yeah. And that was something that, and Thursday we didn't have clarity on that when we did the show, but once that was obvious, Ronald Jones definitely became somebody definitely that was in that play, and his 21 points. Mixon was just 5,800 over on DK. Odell was just 58. Those guys were grossly underpriced because they hadn't really been performing well. They performed. It all went very, very well, very quickly. So that's basically the week that was. Any other takeaways for you from this past week 4 here? Things you saw, things you liked, things you didn't?
I think I'm done trying to pick out a Baltimore player that isn't, Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews. I think that's cooked. I think the Bears are rough. I don't know if I want anyone there outside of Allen Robinson. And I think the Raiders are still a bit banged up. Like, I don't think I'll be taking Raiders until outside of Darren Waller until I see them put it all together. Because Josh Jacobs is out there trying his hardest, God bless him, but he just does not look
Bless
like
his heart. He's trying
bless
so
his
hard.
heart. He's trying
so
his
hard.
best, Joe. Just bless his heart.
Bless his heart. He's just trying. He's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard, but he does not look like he's 100%. So
I don't know if we're ever going to top this day coach of future past thing. I'm still thinking about that, by the way, and laughing. And I'm enjoying us. That's what I'm doing. That's what makes us so special. Yeah, it was. It's stunning to me that Bill O'Brien's gone and Adam Gase is still around. And by the way, speaking of which, Joe Flacco is going to play this week. So did you have Joe Flacco on your bingo card for 2020?
Oh my God. Well, he played a little bit last week when they took Darnold out with the shoulder.
I would use the word played very, very carefully.
Yeah. Would he throw 2 passes and hand off? So,
but he's going to get Le'Veon Bell back this week, right?
And this is a good matchup here against the Cardinals. The Cardinals defense has been weak so far this season. So it's a nice matchup for him, but I think that changes. Not like you're running out to go grab Jamison Crowder anyway, but it changes him a little bit because I don't know that I trust anyone not named Bell, and I don't really want to play Bell in his first game back coming off this hamstring injury, if he should even play this week. We're not 100% on that yet. So, I'm going to be I think we'll call it the Pisapia rule. Strictly no Jets.
No Jets. No Jets. I would actually be kicking the tires on Le'Veon Bell now that he's back because the Jets are so bad and Flacco's playing I can't in flex right now. Chris Harris is in last place and he has Lev Bell. And I'm like, he's got Darrell Henderson. Maybe if I give him my Malcolm Brown and something else, I can just kind of peel Le'Veon Bell away. Maybe. Who knows?
We have Bell, and I think we're in second or third in flex.
I know. So. Well, we also drafted Cam Newton late, who's been good. And we had. I thought you meant
I meant the Welsh
you guys in
the
flex.
other.
I am third. I'm tied for
We're
third,
fourth.
but I have the third most points or something. I'm 500, but I have the third most points in the league. And number one is our good buddy Mike Randall, who was my co-host here on the Wagering Show last year. He's 4-0, but he's a Nick Chubb owner, so I don't think it's going to be a good week for him. Just saying.
Well,
it's gonna be tough.
The only undefeated person in our league with the Welsh and I is Bob Harris, 4-0.
Bobby, one of my favorite people on the planet.
He's so great. Mike Florio, 3-1. Michael Beller from the Athletic, 3-1. So
there you go.
And as are we. So
I'm ready to make my move. This is it. This is the time, baby. All right. Looking backwards last week, obviously the injury is a big deal to Chubb. Dearness Johnson, Kareem Hunt. Do you think people are going to be looking to see maybe if Johnson continues to get carries? And another guy, too, that got a lot of carries. I don't know if people or enough carries and a bigger total of them to recognize is Damian Harris at 100 yards rushing in that slop of a game with Kansas City. Those are two guys that all of a sudden are on radars. Do you think they should be?
Yeah, well, I could not believe that Damian Harris was activated 2 hours before kickoff and then got 17 carries. So that's the most Bill Belichick move I've ever seen in my life. So I think he should absolutely be on all the radars.
Good thing I own him in flex.
Dearness Johnson is a guy that, as a Chubb owner, you should be looking at for sure. But I think it's mainly going to go to Kareem Hunt. Remember, he was limited still in this game that he played where Chubb got hurt, and he still had a decent amount of carries. So, they got a tough matchup here against the Colts. I think they play the Colts and then Pittsburgh, in back-to-back weeks. So it's not exactly great matchups for Dearness Johnson. But if you're desperate, he's going to get touches. So, but he's a little bit of a plotter, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's just kind of run through some of these real quick. So I was going to give you a nugget from every game. Alvin Kamara, still very good at football. Good to see Kenny Golladay getting a touchdown. As far as the Bucs go, Ronald Jones, we just kind of talked about. That's very important, but keep an eye on the health going into that Thursday game. Nobody practiced today. Nobody, which I know it's a short week, but still just keep a close eye. Luckily, not a main slate worry for us. Joe Mixon is back. T. Higgins is for real. I think we could say that. DJ Shark is also
Green
back.
Is dead.
And AJ Green is dead, but DJ Shark is back with a vengeance. Hooray. Very excited about that. It's getting closer and closer to 2:00 in Miami. It's not going to be this week, but it's coming soon. Yeah, that's right. You love it. We already talked enough about the Cowboys and that. Well, I'll tell you, Cowboys defense This week they get the Giants. And here, fun fact, Daniel Jones has averaged 19 fantasy points in that week 1 since he's averaged 10 per week. I mean, it's kind of like last year too.
The most that he's had this year, this week.
I was going to say, I wonder if the oppo play of all oppos is Daniel Jones and just go balls to the wall. Slayton, Jones, Ingram, just go play it. I don't know if Sterling Shepard's on his way back or not, but 2 weeks in a row, bad for the Cardinals, not good. I'm wondering when Chase Edmonds starts to get maybe some more play there. Panthers, Robbie
Drake
Anderson
is banged up, so it might be this week.
I would empty the tank on that guy. We've also got, obviously, with the Panthers, Robbie Anderson's good still. Mike Davis continues to be excellent.
DJ Moore is not worth the cost, it seems like right now.
It's very frustrating.
Anderson is out targeting him.
He is right
By the way, if you open up your black book and check under bust and check under wide receivers, you'll see that I wrote up DJ Moore.
Well, look at you, smart and handsome, just like Mama said. Ravens, you're right, but I've been saying this for 2 years now. It's basically it's Lamar Jackson, it's Andrews. That's it. Like that's it. You know, stop trying to make fetch happen. Like forget the running backs, forget everybody else. Right? You know, Marquise Brown, that's nice, but no,
Marquise Brown every once in a while, but
it's too hard to peg. He's like Will Fuller light. He's
that's
almost
very
as
true.
Injury prone.
He plays Cincinnati this week, though.
Well, maybe this week we'll get into it.
That's why I want to say maybe. You know,
the Rams are incredibly disappointing, though. Screw you, Rams.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown and Henderson had timeshare. Cooper Kupp was good. Woods was disappointing. Goff was bleh. 17. That's it. 17 against the Giants in your own building. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I did not like that. That one played to an under that neither one of us expected at all.
No, it did not. We'll get to those in a second. Also, Buffalo, Josh Allen continues to be good, spreading the ball around, spreading the love. The Colts Bears game, skip it. Terrible, awful. Here's another fun fact. Nyheim Hines had 20 plus points week 1. He has 13 combined fantasy points over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I never understood that. And I was so mad about that too, because he averaged 6 touches per game last year before Taylor came in. And then he got his run with Marlon Mack and hasn't got much run after that. So I don't know how any of that makes sense.
None of it does. Absolutely none of it does. Pat's D played well, but again, the quarterback play was just atrocious. Eagles getting the victory, huge for them. Still a fantasy enigma to me. I don't know if I want to go anywhere near the Eagles anytime soon.
No.
And Aaron Rodgers right now is leading the league in quarterback rating. You like that? That's kind of surprising. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Tonyan.
Yeah, Robert Tonyan with 3
He's got a touchdown every game. And
he just scored just now. He scored another touchdown when we started the show. It's unbelievable. And you're not going to believe this. I just got a State Farm email the minute you just said that. That's so weird. It just popped up. State Farm's like they heard me.
Yeah, they heard you saying Aaron Rodgers for sure. Robert Tonyan won me 2 leagues this week. So, and I was down big in both of them. So, scoring 30 points was amazing. I love that.
Robert Tonyan. All right, so let's start
Robert Tonyan.
That's right. Say his name. All right, let's talk about week 5. Actually, no, before we even get into hot takes of week 5, how'd we do on the wagering this week, Boggs? What was the tail of the tape there? Because I know as far as the overs go, we had a pretty good start. I know on Sunday, where the overs were kind of kicking ass a little bit there and taking names. So how did we end up?
You, sir, were amazing on the over unders. You were 10-4 for the week. You started out, I think, 8-2 in the early slate. I was better against the spread this week. I went 8-6. I went 7-7 on the over-unders, but you crushed the over-unders this week. That was really the play of the week. So
listen to Bogman for the touchdown calls. Listen to me for the over-unders, and just go. You're going to win a ton of money. All right, just look. That's where we are. We found our niche right now. We're in a groove, and when we come back on Thursday, we're going to do the same stuff we did last week. So make sure you subscribe to the program. If you're just listening to us for the first time, we're the PreSnap podcast, courtesy of the LineStar app. Go out there. Get us downloaded, get the subscription going, click the little notifications button. We're on every single podcast format you could possibly find at every podcast host. So that means Google, Stitcher, iHeart, iTunes. It's all there. So that being said, Boggs, let's hot take a little week 5. The Titans are going to be back tomorrow in their little supposedly, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves with the Bills and Titans yet. We'll leave that one for Thursday, where we have a little bit more clarification Jaguars at Texans. I can tell you right now, I like DJ Shark in this game, Bugs.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it. I don't know that I like maybe James Robinson.
I was
in
going to
this
say
game,
LineStar
too.
App, number one running back value is James Robinson. They have him at 15 and a half point PPR points, and he's 66K.
Love that. Wow, 66 is it?
That's it
I
on
really
FanDuel,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, not
really,
bad.
Really like that. Yeah, so that's a good play. I don't know that I want anyone from Houston not named Watson, and I really don't want Watson that much this week. So it's probably going to be too expensive, I think.
I think you just leave it go. I mean, I think it's just spiraling out of control. I don't think Watson was a bad play, but I think there's going to be cheaper ones. I already know there's one cheap one that we're all going to be on, but we'll get to him in a sec. Bengals at Ravens. I'll go back to the Lamar against the Cincinnati Bengals any day. Like, I was off Lamar last week, but I don't think I'm on this week. Him and Andrews is a good pairing in cash this week, and I would go. Would you go back to Mixon at all against the Ravens?
I think his price. I haven't seen his price yet, but probably not. Not against Baltimore. I think you're asking for you'd be paying for last week's production. So I would rather go with a wideout for Cincinnati if I could. Boyd or if Higgins is cheap, go for Higgins.
All right, Panthers at Falcons. Teddy B is just 7,100 on FanDuel this week, so that's fun against the Falcons. So Robbie Anderson, maybe this is the DJ Moore Oppo game too. We've been waiting for. Maybe this is the contrarian DJ Moore day. Definitely Mike Davis, though. I can tell you that. I'm going to have Mike Davis. I don't even care how much he is. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever. If there's an increase, so be it. I am all in. I'm actually looking for him. He's 6,800 on FanDuel this week. What?
There's a lot of question marks at running back now as well. So maybe Todd Gurley scored twice. I know people don't love him because his upside is capped, but you're paying for a touchdown, and I think it's pretty easy call that he gets one against Carolina.
No, I would agree with that. I don't think the problem is he's limited. Gurley's 57. By the way, worst rushing defense in the league, Carolina. Just want to throw that out there. 5,700 for Gurley on DK. I'm trying to find the price right now for our other friend that we were just talking about. James Robinson, 67. Mike Davis, just 64. So he's even cheaper on the full point PPR. That's bananas. Last 2 weeks, he's averaging 22 and a half DK points.
And if we know Julio's going to be in question because he didn't play after halftime on Monday night, and then Calvin Ridley could be in question as well. So Olamide Zaccheaus, the pride of UVA, Virginia, started as running back, moved to wide receiver, Joey. So I like Zaccheaus. I picked him up in a couple leagues, got me 8 catches in PPR. I love that.
Got me 8 catches.
Got me 8 catches.
He ain't no Robert Tonyan. But here's why I love LineStar App, because I'm looking right here on the Mike Davis profile. 7 red zone targets in the last 3 games, was targeted 6 times in the last 3 games, 19.3 fantasy points per game in 2 away games this year. Atlanta, I mean, just we know how bad they are. I mean, it's so great. And this is what I love about LineStar App. It's so concise. The little player cards, I can see everything here, what the expected total was. Last 2 weeks, his expected total was 10 and 14. He scored 23 and 22. Yeah, I mean, the dude's just rocking it right now. Chiefs Raiders. This is it's gonna be a tough one for the Raiders because they're all kinds of banged up here. And the Chiefs just look, I mean, of all the 4-0s, they're the most, incredible 4-0. I'm just really, the Chiefs are just so good, I think, right now, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're the pride of the NFL at this point. So I'm with you on that. The only Vegas guy you can start is Waller. I
agree. Jacob since week 1's kind of fallen back to the pack a little bit.
Yeah, he's just playing not at 100%, and we were into Renfro last week, and it didn't really work out. I think
was okay.
But Aguilar had the touchdown.
That was the problem. Is Aguilar ended up getting the touchdown, so that's
I'm just not going to depend on Renfro. So it's Waller or bust. And on the Chiefs side, you're paying up for Mahomes, you're paying up for Tyreek.
I was going to say it feels like a Tyreek day against the Raiders.
I don't think I'm paying for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is a good game for him too, but he's only gotten the end zone once so far this year.
Listen, since week 1, color me unimpressed. It looked like a gangbusters week 1, but right now you're giving me Mike Davis at 68 or 64 even. What am I saying? Well, yes, absolutely. I'd rather have him.
than
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Le'Veon Bell comes back. Jets Cardinals. Kyler Murray needs a good game here. It's just 2 weeks in a row, kind of crappy. You're going to get the Jets here. I know it's on the road. I know Hopkins wasn't 100%, but I would keep a close eye on Chase Edmonds and Drake this week and all that news, and we'll get more of that on Thursday, I'm sure.
And really Hopkins too for Murray, because that's obviously plays a huge role, because Christian Kirk is just, speaking of color me unimpressed. Christian Kirk is no good, and Isabella isn't going to make plays by himself. So I'm a little dicey on that whole game. I don't want to start Bell, especially with Flacco, and Cardinals have not looked good 2 weeks in a row. So I might just stay away.
Eagles and Steelers. So Eagles got their win. It's a good thing they got it when they did. I don't think they're going to beat the Steelers. We just had a week off. Yeah, right. Coming off a bye. Hopefully Deontay Johnson will be back, right? Is he out of protocol yet? Or
out
still...
of protocol today. So
thank God.
Yeah, we're all set there. Yeah, so he only went in on his bye week. So that's good. But yeah, man, I mean, if you've watched the Steelers defense and you've watched the Eagles offensive line, you're going to want to be starting the Steelers defense this week.
I'm with you, dude. You got to pay up there. 100% with you. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I mean, I can't imagine the number of sacks they're going to have. Washington's going to be against the Rams. Is another tricky game. It would not shock me if Washington won this game, by the way, because the Rams, I think, are another team where I just don't have a beat on them. I mean, they look good in Buffalo, and then they can't beat the Giants at home barely. It's so weird. They're a weird team. I'll tell you when we get to, I can't wait to see the line on this game, because I'm sure it's insane, and I'm sure I'm going to end up with Washington. Like, is it even double digits? I wonder.
I don't think it's double digits quite yet. I think
is it like 9? It's probably 9,
8.5. So, yeah. So we'll see on that one. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. You can't get a beat on, as soon as we think we figured out that the Rams are back to their high flying ways, they score 17 against the Giants. So
Washington has a lot of pride.
Yeah, they do.
For a team that's not very good. And Terry McLaurin continues to be awesome, by the way. I just tell you, awesome. He has more targets this year than Robbie Anderson. He has more targets this year than Alvin Kamara. I mean, he is right up there. He's closer to Amari Cooper, guys like that. It's crazy how good he's been.
Yeah. By the way, I was looking at something different, but FanDuel, it's the Rams by 7.5. So it is a little bit lower here. 45.5 is the over in that game,
because they know they're saying the same thing we're saying.
I just don't like the vibe in Washington with the questions about Haskins. I don't like that.
That's fine. It's fair. I don't trust the Rams. No.
You can still start. I think Gibson, for what you're paying for him right now, he could be a start any week, because that's your swing pick in a tournament.
You want to take a crack at his DK salary?
I don't know.
Guess.
68.
5K.
Wow, are you serious?
5K coming off a 23-point game against Baltimore.
Yeah, and he had I think he had 20 touches in that game.
Get ready. There's your punt play of the week, boys and girls. There it is.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
49ers hosting the Dolphins. So after this one, I think this is when you can, because they're going to have that, they have a schedule, the Dolphins coming up, that gets really good, really quick. And then they have that weird thing where they play the Jets and they go on a bye and then they play the Jets. You will see Tua before that happens. I'm telling you right now, you're definitely going to see him. Dolphins are going to get pwned in this game. I think 49ers are not going to lose 2 games in a row at home. It's just not going to happen. And they're getting some guys back too. So,
so that game's going to be hard to pick. I right now it is San Francisco by 8.5. No over under on that game yet, but because I think we're in question as to if Jimmy G is going to play or not. So
if Jimmy G plays, I think that number is going to be like 44.5 or something like that. That'll be my guess.
Yeah, and I think the line will balloon up to 10. So
yeah, and I'll tell you, it's 44.5. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I mean. I think I'm just going to follow you. You're
welcome
to
2020.
Time this week.
Follow me. I am your leader of overs and unders. Cowboys are going to be at home against the Giants. Boy, do they need a win in the worst way. But I think you're right. I feel like Daniel Jones and company could have a good game here. It's crazy. I know Zeke's going to be Zeke's like 9K on FanDuel. Do you have any love for Tony Pollard this week? Are you running the narrative that the Cowboys roll and Pollard gets a lot of carries?
No.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
I think
because I feel like people will be thinking that, and I don't think it's right either.
I think this is a established dominance. You're 1-3, so go out there and establish dominance and run the ball down their throat. It's a division opponent. Beat the bejesus out of them and get going. So,
All right, Broncos at Patriots. This should be a W. I don't know if they're going to have Cam back by then. I know he's asymptomatic, so they've had him take other tests and stuff like that. They got to have somebody else play quarterback because that was bad. I mean, I think they could beat the Broncos at home with the jabronis they got, but still, you'd like to see Cam Newton come back. Not that we're going to play him, but Damian Harris becomes intriguing for sure after that last game. I know it's the Patriots, so you can't count on anything, but
the Broncos are so beat up.
They're so beat up, and also, but the Patriots, going into the camp, Harris was all the talk, man. He was all the talk, and guess what? He walked the walk week 4, showed up, 100-yard game, 17 carries. I know he had the one big run, but still, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, and the Broncos front 7 is beat up. We saw them on Thursday. Harris was questionable. He got in there. He left the game twice. They've had a million injuries on defense. They're beat to shreds right now. So Harris is going to be a decent play, I think, in that game.
I think the Browns have a chance at home against the Colts. I know the Colts defense is very good, but that Colts offense is just unimpressive. And I think it's tough to win 2 road games in a row for a team like the Colts, who really they almost have to win on defense. This is a dicey game here for the Colts, in my opinion. This is another one where I'm kind of curious what the line is, because this is a screaming upset special to me, potentially.
They call it the factory of sadness for a reason.
They do.
It's right now it's the Colts by 1.5, 47.5 is the over. The Colts are only favored by 1.5 in this game. Yeah, well, look, the Browns just put up 49 points.
All right, well, that's what I know. They're coming off a huge victory. They're coming home. I know I know it's a factory of sadness, but geez, I mean, right now they got to be feeling good about themselves. And by the way, is it a hot take to say Jarvis Landry throws a better ball than Baker Mayfield?
No, it's not, because it's true.
That guy's throwing lasers, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and that's my thing is, I think you can beat Dallas because their defense is so not only bad but also beat up. But right now, I think the Colts are on another level defensively than Cleveland is. So I'll take the Colts in that one. I don't want to mess with Hunt. I don't want to mess with Dearness Johnson. I don't want anyone from Cleveland. But also, I feel like the same is probably true about the Colts. I mean, I would want a tight end, but with Burton coming back, they all got targets. Mo Alley caught the touchdown again, but Doyle and Burton had more targets than him. The wide receivers are a mess. T.Y. Hilton sucks. Jonathan Taylor got usurped by Wilkins and Hines last week a little bit, more because they were stomping on the Bears. But like you said, this offense isn't clicking on all cylinders. So I don't think I'm going to mess a lot with this game. Don't like it.
And the last 2 games, the night games, we have the Vikings at Seahawks. So I'm not giving the Vikings. I mean, again, they just won a game, and now you got to go to Seattle and play them. I think they can keep pace with them. Defensively, I just don't think they're gonna be able to stop Seattle. And then you get the Saints at home. Supposedly Michael Thomas. I'm very glad this is a Monday night game, because whenever the Saints are at home in that dome and you get Thomas back, there's gonna be a lot of buzz. I'm glad this is a night game, and that's not where I want to be right now. If I'm a DFS player, I want this game to happen without me.
Right. Well, there's so many questions with the Chargers as well.
Oh, yeah.
Joshua Kelly and Justin Jackson, how's that split going to work? Because Kelly's fumbled 2 weeks in a row. And this isn't the great.
How good has Keenan Allen been, too? He's averaging 95 yards and 10 catches since Herbert took over. That's incredible.
But is Herbert going to start? Because
I don't know, man, but he should.
I think Lynn might go back to Taylor in this game, and I would not be shocked. So that one, there's a lot of question marks for this being week 5. We should have a lot of these figured out now, but I think just the weird nature of 2020 and all the little injuries that we're having, that we're having big injuries too, but we're having a lot of little nagging things bothering guys that are messing up some production this year for what should be full-time players. So that one's a tough one to watch, and I'm with you, Joe, 100%. Glad it's on Monday night so we don't have to use it in the main slate.
Exactly. All right. Well, hopefully we'll have some more answers for you on Thursday and Friday. So we'll get the DFS preview out Thursday morning. Friday morning will be your wagering show. That'll do it for us. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LineStar App, at LineStar NFL, at Bogman Sports, and at Joe Pisapia 17. There's nothing left to do now except down, set, win.
You've been listening to the PreSnap podcast brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, drop a review, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy football experts Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.